What's up, treasure hunters? Welcome back. I am here to show you today some auction finds that I had over the month of December. Some art, a couple statues, and a couple pieces that I think can bring in some really nice profits. So thanks for tuning in again. I'm finally back. I had a bout with COVID as well as my whole family. So I was down for the count for a little bit there, but now making the first video of the year. And it is going to be some auction purchases that I made over December, maybe late November. First one here I'm going to show you is a bronze Japanese or Chinese statue. I believe it's Japanese. This is actually a woman. I had this posted on eBay, and someone contacted me and I had it as a man, and they said, no, this is actually a woman because of the way that the person's dressed. But so I just changed the listing, but it's a really nicely done little statue here with, I guess, what you would call a staff or something. It's got some nice engraving on the back. I picked this up at auction for $17.50 and only cost, I don't know, it's minimal shipping. So kind of a cool little find. Should be able to get at least $100 for it. Next piece here, I got at auction for $27 or something. This was also pretty minimal shipping cost. It's real heavy. This is a cast bronze statue or sculpture just of a young woman with a basket. This only had a couple pictures. So when I was looking at it at the auction, I was hoping that when I received it in the mail, I might be able to see some sort of marking or signature, but no, I don't see any markings or signatures on this. Either way, it's older, and like I said before, it's really heavy. So cool buy. I actually have sold quite a bit of bronze sculptures and statues, so they sell pretty well, and I should be able to make a decent profit off this piece. So the next piece here I'm going to show you, this was actually a local estate auction. It was done online, but I picked all the items up so I didn't have to pay for shipping. This is a vintage hand-carved wood duck decoy. This was made for more decorative purposes, not to actually be used. There is a brand on the bottom which says Wild River, and I looked up comparable vintage duck decoy, and all this is hand carved out of wood, hand painted and stuff. And comparable items were selling anywhere between, like $150 to over $300, depending on the size and the shape of the actual decoy. I got this for $38, and again, no shipping. It's in good condition. Some of the paint on the top has rubbed off just a little bit, but otherwise there's no damage, no missing pieces or anything, no repairs. These actually sell really well. They're very collectible, like duck decoys are. I have sold a handful of these in the past, so this was an awesome find. And I don't find these every once in a while. I find a piece like this at the thrift store, but usually the duck decoys I see at the thrift store are more modern composites made of resin or something. So nice little piece here for $38. I also got this here at auction, at the same auction where I picked up a couple different things. And I got this for $6. This is a vintage leather covered horse. I guess you could call it a horse toy or something. But it's pretty detailed, has glass eyes, and it's in good condition. I just have to fix one of the little straps broke here, but that's not going to be hard to fix, so I'll fix that. But either way, I have sold numerous pieces like this that I found at the thrift store. I sold a bull. I sold a moose. So these can be pretty collectible. That's why I picked it up. I didn't have to pay for shipping. And I would have bought this at the thrift store for $6 anyway. And probably should be able to make $50 off of it. Next piece here I got for $1 from that same auction, so I didn't have to pay for shipping. I didn't know it at first because they didn't really specify whether this was a lithograph or an actual like etching or pencil drawing, but it is a lithograph, an older one. It was done by Moses Hyman, who was pretty well known for his portraits of different figures. And this is of James Marshall. And again, I got this for $1. I don't really know how easy it's going to be to sell, but for $1, I'm sure somebody out there, you'd be surprised at what people look for and what people purchase. So it's a nice lithograph. His hand signed down here in the corner, and it says Marshall at the bottom. So probably won't be able to sell this too quickly, but for $1, still a good find. I also got this piece for $1 from that same auction. Again, no shipping. And this is an antique photograph, hand-colored photograph. And this artist was not identified, but I was able to see the signature, which is George Petty. And I just thought it was a really cool, nice looking antique photograph. I like antique photographs, so I'll always pick them up if I find them at the thrift stores and they're a good price. But seeing that this is only $1, it is titled and hand signed, and it looks to be in the original frame. And he commonly had photographs, at least I saw online, the very early 1900s. So real cool piece, especially for $1. Even at the thrift store, this would probably be like $5. So I should be able to sell this for a couple $100. And he was actually, I found he was the father of his son, George Petty, who was very well known in the magazine and advertising industry. Kind of a cool little fact, I guess, but still really cool antique photograph, probably between 1900 and 1910. And this here was the last piece that I got from that auction. And this was also $1. And this is just a vintage oil painting, still life painting. It is signed Osborne in the corner. It's still pretty dirty. I didn't clean it or anything yet. Just a pretty nicely done still life painting. I didn't really do too much research just because I just put my bid in for $1. I didn't really expect to win it, but I did. So I haven't really looked up who the artist might be. It's probably just, somebody that, did this in their spare time or something, I imagine, but it is vintage. It's nice, done on canvas. A little bit of cracking in the paint, but nothing too crazy. And seeing that it is pretty well done and probably mid-century, I should be able to make some sort of profit off of it. So I actually bought a lot of art from an online auction. And all these pieces, I bought 3 pieces for around $27. And they were all signed J. Harvey. And they're all in this kind of abstract fashion of people. And this looks like to be probably a mother and daughter. They're reading a book. It's kind of hard to see because this is a really small one. And here's the second one, more medium-sized. Again, looks to be like a mother and daughter. And this one actually has a gallery card on the back from New York. So hopefully that will help me uncover who the artist might be, because I haven't really nailed down exactly who made these 3 pieces. And this is the last piece. It's obviously a lot bigger. Behind glass, this is a glass frame, just one of the kind of standard metal frames. And it's more of a family scene here, but you can see kind of just unique and different. I just like the way all 3 of these looked. And I thought, took a shot on being able to uncover who the artist might be. But just given that they are more unique in style and kind of abstract, I think people appreciate that when it's unique. So I think I should be able to make a profit. I just gotta hope to find out who the artist is. So we'll have to do some more research on that. So next piece I got here is an oil painting done on canvas, but it is not framed, doesn't have a stretch or anything. It's just kind of taped to this piece of cardboard. I think that's why I might have gotten a pretty good price on this. And no one really, I only paid like 20 or 30 bucks for it. And I believe the guy's name, his last name was Burgess. I think it was Jack Burgess, I want to say. And I looked in on his website, his paintings are listed for, real good amount of money, over $1,000 for, original paintings and stuff. I didn't find a whole bunch of his work outside of that, and I couldn't see any auction prices that were. But for that price, I think it's just a nicely done painting. I do have to, with oil paintings, you're not really supposed to put them behind glass. They're supposed to be able to breathe, I guess. At least that's what I've read. So I'll probably try and get this framed or find a frame or buy a stretcher for it and put it on there or something, just so it's not looking like this. But either way, didn't cost me much to ship because of that. And I think it's still a really, really cool looking painting, not too large and still in really good shape. So the next two pieces of art I'm going to show you have the most potential to make, a really good profit margin from what I paid. And this one I got at an online estate sale out in California. This frame I got from a Goodwill. This did not come in a frame. It just came matted and like plastic. And for this one, it was not identified. So there was no artist mentioned, but it did show a picture of the signature, which is really hard to see. It's in red down here in the corner. And I was able to decipher it as Tejada. And then I did some searches and found that the signature belongs to Jose Joaquin Tejada, I believe it was his name. And he did paintings in the late 19th, early 20th century. This is a watercolor of a guy playing a cello. Really, really detailed and nicely done. I did find auction listings, a bunch of auction listings for his work, but I could not see any of the sold prices without a subscription. So I don't know what they sold for. Some of the estimates for the larger pieces were as high as $10,000, like $8,000 to $10,000. The smaller pieces, there were some that were just under $1,000. So I don't really know. I didn't see a lot of landscape type work. I didn't see any with like a figure like this. So that might be a little unique to what he usually did. I'm not sure. But I only paid 35 bucks for this plus shipping, which wasn't too bad because of the size and it wasn't framed. Really, really good find. One of those, which, anytime I talk about looking at online auctions or estate sales, finding those pieces that are unidentified and trying to do a little legwork yourself can really work out in your advantage. If you can get a piece that no one has identified yet, you can get it for a really good value. And the last piece I also got at an online estate auction, and this one also was not identified. The artist was not identified, but this is actually done on board, and it looks like, the reason what really caught my eye about this is it looks like a piece of paper kind of curling up, but it tacked to like a brown board, but that's all part of the painting. And this is signed Canedo. The artist is Alexander Canedo, and the signature is real easy to read. So I just did a quick search and found a bunch of his work. I think it's just, up to nude female on that little scrap of paper, it looks like. So it's kind of cool, different. It's nicely framed. And it does have a title, 2 nudes on the back, and the name of the artist. And this originally sold for $150. I picked it up at the auction for $100 plus shipping, which I don't think was too expensive because of the size. But his work, I've seen sell at auction ranging from $500 to over $1,000. So I think I should be able to probably get somewhere in between there for this piece. So really good find, and another example of being able to do that little bit of legwork to find some great value. So those are all my auction finds that I'm going to show you today. I still have a bunch more though that I'm going to review, as well as a whole bunch of thrift store finds that I found when I wasn't locked down from COVID. I've also been working on my guide to starting your own reselling business, from getting things at thrift stores and auctions and all of that. So it'll walk you through what I look for in items, the different types of items you can look for, how to spot, value in items, and how to tell reproductions from originals and all of that good stuff. It goes through everything. So I've been writing that up. I'm getting close to being finished, and I'm going to offer it for free to any of my subscribers once it is finished. So you can read through it and give me any feedback so I can make it as helpful as possible. So stay tuned for that. I'll let you know when I get it wrapped up and ready to be reviewed. If you haven't done so yet, please hit that subscribe button for me and like the video. It helps me out in YouTube's algorithms and all that good stuff. I really appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm going to be back in the swing of things now, so I got more videos that I'm creating this week. So stay tuned for those. And until then, I hope you guys have the best luck treasure hunting out there, and stay safe.